before I speak, evening everyone.
Easy way.
How are you guys doing today? Did you miss me at work?
Yes.
So you're not doing anything, but you did miss me at work. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about South Africa cultures, misconceptions, and traditions. Well, South Africa has a diversity of things like cultures, and people think other things about other people and so forth. So basically we have a lot of different things and views about people around South Africa. So I'm just going to talk about what I know and what I think is true, and maybe you will make your own judgment and stuff, okay? So South African cultures, we have about 11 languages, and which has Xhosa, Zulu, Tswana, Ndebele, Swati, Pedi. I know I'm speaking foreign now. Sotho, Venda, Tonga, English, Afrikaans, and Indian. So,
The Sotho is what we're speaking here, in this region.
In this region is Tswana.
Tswana, okay, because just look at these words. The one guy here, he wrote down these words for us to try and teach it. Is that Sotho or is that Tswana?
Tswana, yeah.
That's Tswana, okay. Great, so we're trying to learn some of that.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, so I will be elaborating more on everything.
Tswana.
Okay. So where is everyone in South Africa? So you have Limpopo. Limpopo has a lot of cultures, has the Venda cultures, has the Xhosa cultures, has the Pedi cultures, okay? And then we have the Northwest. The Northwest has the Tswana cultures, most of the Tswanas, and a little bit of Afrikaans. And Mpumalanga has Ndebele, Swati, and yeah, Ndebeles and Swatis are more in Mpumalanga. And then KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, which is here, it is more of the, the Zulus. So this is where Shaka Zulu comes from.
Can you just point out, like, Northwest is where we are now?
Yeah, Northwest is where we
the
are.
The other cheetah project, Shumweti, is up in Limpopo, the pink one.
Yes,
That's it's further north. You just wanted to know more or less.
Mm-hmm.
The other cheetah project, which is sister project to this one. Yeah.
I just want to point out. I don't want to.
I don't have a point.
You don't have a pointer. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm going to start again. So this is Limpopo. This is where most cultures are, the vendors, Tongas and Pedis. And then Mpumalanga, that's where the Ndebeles and Swatis mostly are. And then you can see here, I think this is Swaziland, so you would understand why the Ndebeles and Swazis are around there. And then this is the Free State, that's where the Sothos are. And because Lesotho are right there as well. Lesotho is a different country from South Africa, but it's within South Africa. I don't know how it works out, but that's how it is. And then the Eastern Cape, that's where most Xhosas are. And then we have the Western Cape. Western Cape is also where the Xhosas are.
That's where Bianca is going on her project.
And then the Northern Cape, well, there's a lot of Afrikaans speaking, like, there's Tswanas there. And there's a lot of people that look like the Sands and stuff. That's where they are. Like the ones that are still in South Africa, that's where most of them are. But then there's Tswanas and mostly Afrikaans-speaking people. So you find a lot of colors there. And then this is the Zulus. He's dead. Okay, so this is the traditional attire, but normally you will find the women with boobs outside. So she's much more respectful to herself. So this is their famous hat, they like that. And the men wear leopard print stuff. So there we go. And right, so they eat a lot of pap, which you might have tomorrow. It's corn that is grounded into powder and then is cooked with water and stuff. So that is what he's cooking there. And then that is the traditional beer. In previous groups, I brought them traditional beer that my mom made for me for my graduation ceremony. So unfortunately, that was a very long time ago. If I go home, maybe I would bring for the next group if my mom decides to make. So basically, that is what she is making there. That is traditional.
Where does your mom stay, Fred?
We stay just around the corner. It's not too far from here.
That's nice.
Yeah. Alright, so this is the type of hut that a Zulu man will live, like a Zulu person will live in. And just something that South Africans have in common is they like covering up here, especially the men, covering up here and leaving their legs. If you look at the Boere, the Afrikaners, they wear short pants and the big jackets. I don't understand that concept. You're cold here but warm there. So you see he's also like that. So basically that's what they are. And they eat skop. This is a sheep scalp, sheep head. That's what they like eating, and this would probably be morogo, and that is pap. Morogo is like green leaves from, let's say, pumpkin leaves and carrot
like a wild
leaves.
spinach,
Beetroot leaves, yeah. So basically it's just leaves from different plant species.
That's nice.
Yeah. Hey, the classes. Today's Mandela's birthday, yay!
They did their bid for Madiba's birthday today. They went to the hospital in Kharikwane and we're helping clean up wards at the spinal unit there.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, we went with
Very
Rita.
nice. Okay, so that is Nelson Mandela. It is his birthday today, and he's closer. And this is Desmond Tutu, he's closer, and this is Thabo Mbeki, he's closer. He's our second black president. Okay, so traditional attire. So you find that the males wrap their heads, and they like a lot of white. And the females, that's what they do. The females, if you look closely, they have like white stuff on their faces. They like painting their faces and making very nice, beautiful decorations around their faces. They make it with calcrete. You know the rock calcrete, if you did geology. Calcrete is like a lot, it has like chalk-like substance in it, so they just grind it and then they can just make that on their faces. So that's what they do. It's completely legible. Then they believe in initiation. Okay, so initiation goes like this. Last time I was here, I was drunk, and I said they cut their foreheads off. And I was like, not their foreheads, their foreskin.
Oh my goodness.
And I couldn't understand why is everybody surprised. I'm like, no foreheads, no, I'm sorry. So yeah, this is where they get circumcised. So right about now, it is
At what age?
like late teens.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
And they're like
You see
That's baby, so it's pretty painful, I presume.
And it's
It's
with
like
the
Jewish
anesthetic.
religious.
Yeah, but
It's
no.
They
like
Jewish people do it at their bar mitzvah.
So 13.
No, they
like,
don't.
Yeah, they do. It's
They're moils. They do it when they're the babies.
yeah. That's I don't know.
Okay.
I've heard of it being done at bar mitzvah.
Google list. That's going on the Google list. This one, definitely.
Okay, sorry. Did they get anesthetic or anything?
No, nothing. That's why this year
Like, does each man cut his own?
No.
That's terrible.
I didn't
No. What happened is that there's a big guy who's like coordinating the whole thing, and then this guy would be like, okay, this group will be coming like this week or whatever, and then they have to be there for a certain period of time, and then like after a while, then they will go in and then they will get chopped off, like and then they have to survive the winters and the cold, like they just have their blankets, right, and
to
nothing
become
else.
a man.
And then if you survive this, then you're a man, and then you can tell any woman what to do and what not to do. Not me though. I tell them where to get off. So that's basically what they do. And unfortunately, this year 32 boys died. And they're trying to ask if the government can allow, like the traditional healers can allow the government to intervene, because we cannot have so many boys dying because of initiations and stuff like that. And most of them, like sometimes the boys won't go until they're 21, because when they're 16 or 18, they're still scared of, dying in the mountains. They feel like they're not strong enough, and, so it's quite scary when you're close up boys. So unless you're from Joburg, then it doesn't really matter. Your mom can take you to the nearest hospital and such. Okay, so these guys live in huts like this. You see, it's quite different from the Xhosa, from the Zulus. They like colors as well. And then Xhosas, wow, it's quite funny where they stay, because back then, before there was this highly populated place, you see there's no other houses around here. Okay, so their neighbor will be like, down there, the road. And another neighbor will be like, there. So basically they had very big spaces apart, and then it was quite nice. But then if you wanted to ask for salt from your neighbor, then you have to go for like 5 hours. So that's how they lived there. So it was quite spacious like that. And then the Tswanas. So yeah, this is the Tswanas. Not really sure that well. So yeah, this is their traditional attire. They don't believe a lot in cloth. They believe in animal skin. So you see that there's no cloth like anywhere else. They have like impala skin or springbok skin or whatever. So basically that is just what they believe in, and they believe in a lot of beads. So these guys, in the sense, they're quite closely related. That's Tswanas. Okay, and then they eat corn, which you grind and then you make pap. And normally sometimes they just take the corn and the beans, they mix it together, cook a nice meal. It's very nice. And we have the Endeavours. I call them the Teletubbies because they look like. So yeah, that's the Endeavours. They're also quite colorful and they like art. So you will see what I mean when I say art. You can see that their houses are quite colorful and they have different patterns that they do. And they like elongating their necks. I don't know why, but yeah, they like putting those things around their necks. And this is their kind of like the typical area. This is what the females would wear. And this is the type of house that they would live in. Okay, this is what they eat. And behind them you see that like that is what their hut looks like. It's quite painted with different colors and it looks very nice. And they also drink traditional beer. So all the traditions in South Africa, they do brew their own beer, but sometimes it differs in terms of ingredients and how long they let it fermentate and stuff like that. So kind of different, it differs, but sometimes you find that it's more or less the same. Right, they love beautiful paintings, and you see their house now is different from the others, from the Xhosas and the Zulus. So this is the type of house that they would live in. Right, and then we have the Swatis. This is one of the smallest population in South Africa because Swaziland is just next door. So basically they just, a few of them just decided to cross the border for a while.
So would you call him Swati or Swazi?
Swati.
Okay.
Yeah. And they speak funny too. Like their language is more like Zulu, but it has a lot of drn drn in it. So it's a little bit of confusing when they speak, but you can kind of like understand what they're trying to say if you know Zulu very well. And most of them come from Swaziland, which is just, this is Swaziland and then around it here is South Africa.
They're going to stay in Wildt Park. Is it on there? The national
No,
park?
there's Mbabane, and there's Matsopa, and there's Big Band, and there's Pig's Peak, yo. There's Pig's Peak and Matsopa. I don't think you want to go to Pig's Peak. And yeah, this is the kind of hut that they will live in. Please don't ask me what is that white woman doing there. I don't know. I just want to take a picture for the internet. So this is the kind of hut that they will live in, and as you can see now it's quite different from the others. Alrighty, so now we have Pedi, which is Northern Sotho. They are in Limpopo. That's where most cultures are. They're the area with the pink color, and they're quite good at like making clay pots as well, and like grass baskets and stuff. So that is what they're good at, and Pedi women will look like that. They also like a lot of colors, and believe it or not, that is not their real bedong.
Yeah.
They like stuffing up their bums. So they would wear, you see that they would have an oversized dress, and then under that dress they will have like a couple of skirts under it so that their ass looks big, because African men like big ass. So I don't know. That's how and the females like covering their, I'm glad you know you're not African. And they like covering their heads and stuff. So that is like most cultures is a sign of respect. And then this is Southern Sotho from Lesotho, and yeah, they're famous for their straw hats. This is what they wear, and their blankets over their shoulders. So basically, that is what is up with them. They like blankets over their shoulders with their straw hats, and they live in houses like that, like you see in the background there. You see this, what this guy is doing his that is corn in that. Little thing there. Basically what it is, it's a tree stump that they cut into half, and then they made a hole within the tree stump, and then they made that from like maybe a branch or something. So that is what they use to grind their corn. So it's quite clever. because they don't have machines to do it. And when it's not that fine, they will use a stone, like a small stone, a big stone, to put it on, and a small stone to grind it. So that is what they use to do that, to make that food. Then that is like I said, they're originally from Lesotho. Then some just start to cross the border and then stay there. So they stay in South Africa. So this is the kind of houses that they will live in. And you will find Lesothos in Bloemfontein, like the Free State. So that's where they are. Okay, this is the vendors. Okay, so the vendors are also very colorful, right? So they like pinks and turquoise and yellow, very bright colors. The males and the females, they like very bright colors, but they're extremely dark. So that's what, because it's where they are from, it's quite hot, and that's why they are like that. And then we have the tongas. Okay, so this is called shibelani. It's what they wear when there's like a big ceremony, and then they would dance like that. They also extend their bums with that thing, and then they just shake their waist, and then the whole thing goes side to side. So basically, this is what they would wear in traditional attire. So they eat these things, more bunny worms, and they call it masonja. So yeah, it's quite. It crushes your tongue. I tried it once. And then we have what we call colored people. Okay. So the color, you would ask yourself, what is a colored person? A colored person is basically a child that was born. It's like a mixed child, a black and white mommy, a black mommy and a white daddy, and then they make this kind of person. And the colors, most of them are from where she's from, the Cape, because that's where they found startup.
My boyfriend's also colored, so you better watch.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this. I'm not saying he's a crazy sad. So yeah, the colors are like that. They're quite light. Some of them are a bit dark. So yeah, but then that's what they are. And then yeah, that is their sand. You see, he looks quite like the Tswana people. So yeah, we closely related to the Bushman. Then the colors. Am I wrong to say they like colorful?
In the traditional Cape Town areas, they love very colorful houses. And
yeah, so this is
very community orientated.
Yeah, so this is like a typical neighborhood like setting would look like this. Alright, and then I'm gonna talk about Lobola.
How much are you worth?
It depends how much you want to pay. Please close your ears. Okay, so in Zulu, a class is called Lobola. In Tswana, Pedi, Sotho, it's called Magadi. Okay, so basically just a bride price. From the male side to the woman's side, saying thank you for raising such a beautiful daughter who's intelligent, and here we go. I think I can give you 20 cars for her. But you don't think you can. They'll tell you how much you can. Give it and give her. So basically, the uncles get together and say, well, we want to talk to his uncles. So, my uncles and my boyfriend's uncles will come together and negotiate on the bride price. And then they'll say, okay, she's got this and this and this and that, and she's well spoken, she's what, and then okay, she's worth this much. So, but then it depends in different families, because
James is getting worried. He's
I don't have enough cows.
I don't have enough cows. But then again, it depends from different families. Other families are like, well, it doesn't really matter, just whatever it is that you want to give to us is okay. And then you get greedy families that be like 100,000 rands or 25 cows. You see, so it's quite ridiculous. So it kind of depends on whether your family is like really hungry into money or whatever. But my family is not, so don't worry about it. So here we have our lovely president and his wife. I think a third wife or fourth wife when they were dancing at their wedding. He got married again this year.
I believe so.
Yeah, and there we go. The elders are going to the male side and saying, listen, we're bringing our child, whatever. So basically it's like a role play where the boy has to go ask the girl's hand in marriage from the family, and then they have to go that side and say yes or no, and then they have to come in and with his uncles and say, well, we want to speak to you guys, and then they keep quiet, and then they have to take out money, and they, okay, fine, how can we help you? So they act stupid around the whole situation, and I don't understand why they do it, but then it's still carrying on. So that's what it is, and this is what a modern bride would look like with all these dangly things going on, but yeah. And then this is the African beer, like weddings, funerals, graduations, baptisms, whatever occasion you have, they will have traditional beer, so it doesn't miss any occasion. It's made out of like it's sorghum and wheat and pap, and it's all these like rice things, you know. It's quite. I mean, like this grass plants thing, so it's quite healthy alcohol.
And what's sort of a traditional language for it, or
for this one?
Yeah.
It's Mkomboti.
Mkomboti, that's it.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about a sensitive issue here in South Africa, about apartheid. So you guys understand that we had like segregations, blacks this side and whites this side. So this is June 16, where the youth at that time fought for equal education and whatnot, because we had what we call Bantu education, and my parents had Bantu education, and like during these people's time, and then they were like, these guys were like, no, we're not gonna have this crazy education anymore. We want something that is similar to the whites. So they had a riot and what, and then a lot of kids were shot.
Was that the Soweto?
Yeah,
riot?
yeah, that was the Soweto stuff. So yeah, that is what it was. And can I read this for you? So this is what I found from the internet. What apartheid really means. In Afrikaans, apartheid was the policy of racial separation and the resulting oppression of the black majority implemented by the National Party from 1948 to 1990. So basically they were just saying, okay, blacks decide, whites decide, just like that. So that's what was going on. So we couldn't have like go to the same schools and stuff like that. So that is what was going on. And then there was a lot of violence, people were being hit, and yeah, that's not, and you couldn't help your fellow men and stuff like that. You have to leave them like that. Okay, so this is what kind of things that you would see out there. So blacks only, whites only, in banks as well, blacks only, whites only.
On the beaches and the airplanes and
everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you grew up during that time, it was quite bad, and that is what it was. So when freedom came was when everybody around the world was like, we're done with this. We're not going to take anything from South Africa. South Africa's not going to import any food, anything to us, because we're doing South Africa was very good in terms of exporting. So they were like, no, we're not going to get anything from South Africa. That then hammered our economy. And then, you know, they've indirectly forced the white government to step down and stuff, or release Mandela. So that is what was going on around the world. And then this is the new South Africa. So you see that is our hockey team, they just scored a goal. And yeah, the reason why I say the best place ever since the 1900s is because before, in the 1900s, that's when the white settlers came into South Africa. And then it was still okay because we were not like being violent and everything like that. But then after a while, that's when, like, you know, they started fighting and everything like that, and then that's when everything turned bad. But then after those years until like 1994, that's when everything stopped. So yeah. And then blacks and whites can live together. That's me and my friend, and we're teaching black and white children in a day. I was teaching Afrikaans to deaf, environmental education to Afrikaans deaf school. So Afrikaans is a language that is spoken by Afrikaners. So it's white people that they have the language called Afrikaans. And then I'm not very good in Afrikaans. Imagine speaking Afrikaans in sign language.
Yeah.
So that was my challenge. So that's what I had to do. And then this is what Nelson Mandela fought for. Thank you.
Yay!
Alright, so you guys have any questions?
Easy Lay does.
Yeah, you do.
Easy
Go ahead, Easy Lay.
Go ahead.
How has the apartheid like affected present day like racial tensions between everyone?
Well, at the moment it's still like it's not as bad as it used to be. But then for now, like if I would come here with my little my nephew, he would be like, oh my gosh, it's a white person, you know, and I'm like, shh, shut up. Because we're so far from like we said, like literally one place just black people, the other place just white people, and where black people are coming in, some white people just move out and just, you know, something like that. So basically that's how it is. And the school that he's going to now, it used to be white people's schools and then became multiracial, and now no white child goes there. So that's how it is. So he's not used to being in the same space with white people. So that's why he gets like, oh my gosh, I want to see them on TV. So it's quite overwhelming for him. I had a friend of mine coming over to my house one time, and he went crazy. And I'm like, behave. This person is just like you, just behave. But then he could not believe that the white person was at home. So basically that's how it is. And it's quite disturbing to see it like that. Because I can be your friend just not because you're human, not because you're white or whatever. So it's still like that. Yeah. Any questions?
How does it affect, like, how things are run at the Cheetah farm? I'm kind of curious about that.
It's quite a sensitive subject.
Okay,
just
super,
say
so
next.
you don't have to talk about it. I was just wondering about that.
Well, I'm just obviously I've seen how things are like,
Right.
and how the black staff is like, okay, like they have uniforms like those labor uniforms, like, and then we have like these prim and proper, you know.
Right.
So, and obviously I understand that because okay, they do manual labor, they don't really have to look like we do. They're not as presentable, but they're not. I can say like they're not really. They are appreciated, but you know, like there's things like salaries that is not really like up to standard for them, or like where they live is not really up to standard and stuff. So it's not like that is not their home, that is the compounds, but then they should have certain necessities which I may not mention, and they don't. So basically that is what is the difference between where I stay and where they stay. You see, and it's been working. They're working on it, but it's a very long run, and we'll see how that works out. But then you can just see that, you know, they have to stay together, and we are, you know, to be like that. So that's like there is that clear separation between us and them, even though I'm like.
I was wondering about that. I was like, what separates you from them? You know, like what gave you that position?
What separates me is because I went to school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they didn't. So they just had grade 11 or grade 10 or grade 9, and they just, you know, happened to qualify for plugging chickens.
I don't know if it's related, but I was always wondering what William wears. You know, he has the stars and all. Is that a political party?
No. No. That's his church.
Oh. It's religious then?
Yeah, it's very religious. They wouldn't allow women to touch that thing.
What, the hat?
Yeah, the hat, yeah. They won't allow women to touch the hat.
What is it?
Well, the president of the church is quite strict, so no woman should touch your hat, and no woman should do this for you and what. So basically just a political thing from the church. I don't know why. Because they say the women, like even their church clothes, they wash it themselves. Their women's and their wives are not allowed to wash it. So.
Is it an all-male church?
No.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's not. It's like the females go there as well, but like the rules say females are not allowed to touch your head.
Is there a name for that religion or?
It's ZCC. It's just it's Zion Christian Church, yeah.
I just thought it was curious.
Yeah, you're just curious. Yeah, it's just it's quite amazing. If you see Andres wears a badge. And Alfred wears a badge. It's the same church.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're not allowed to touch that badge
But
either.
James could, he won't be offended if James had to touch about being a man.
I would have touched his badge.
Well, we because he's white, he might be in trouble.
I think so, maybe
Yeah.
because you're white, you might be in trouble. But then they do have the whites at CC going people, so I don't know. Yeah.
William and I are cool.
You okay? Yeah, you can just ask him. Yeah, we can. Any questions? And yeah.
I know that the government proposed a schooling initiative to improve schools, but has it really reached the impoverished schools? Yeah.
Impoverished.
The what?
The impoverished schools.
So I was just starting again.
The government created I think it's called Schooling 2025 to improve education in schools in all communities, but at least with the research I found, they've only really improved the white, more dominant, the white superior schools and the impoverished schools.
Well, the thing is, we have the president, and then we have the education minister, and then we have the MECs, which are looking after the government, not the provinces, and then within the provinces there is districts. Okay, so if along the chain the money does not get to where it's supposed to get, then it will not be effective. You see, because you find out that a budget is drawn, let's say 16 million for school for this year. Okay, and then every district is given at least 100,000 each. And then you find out that that money will not even reach those schools because of the corruption that is going on. I mean, once you put somebody who, the faults that we have here is, we would take a person because they were working as, what can I say, they were in a different department, let's say transport or whatever, and we put him in education. Okay, and it doesn't really make sense. He has no idea what is going on in the education department, but then he's been put there. Okay, so now he has to learn everything. So it will take him about 3 years to understand the system, and then run about the 4th year where the president is supposed to be in for 5 years?
Yeah.
Around about the 4th year, that's when he gets the drift, and then on the 5th year, that's when we choose the new president, and then he's kicked out. You see, so that's why we kind of don't improve, because you get people from different departments that don't know anything about their job description, and they end up not doing their job because they're just from transport or energy or whatever, and they put into education. For example, we have our education minister from last year.
Minister van Schalkwyk, he's now Environmental Affairs and Tourism. Is he still in? And he came from some other
treasury
planet.
or something that, you know. And Kara Asmo, he was in education. I don't know, he went somewhere else as well.
Yeah, and he was so good.
Exactly. Yeah. You see, so we get these things that change, and you don't understand why, but it just does. So that's the reason why our schools are quite struggling. And we had an issue where books were shredded instead of going to schools.
I think you saw on television all these books lying in the river and stuff.
So
they didn't make the destination. There was a whole big saga about that.
You see, and so now it's already half a year, and then the children don't have their textbooks yet. So how are they going to pass the year?
But all the good intentions are there. It's just the mismanagement of funds and whatever. But
just taking the things to the right area, to the right place. So basically, that's what we need to deliver.
So frustrating.
It is, yeah. So do we have any other questions? Yes, Ezele.
What do you think should be the main priority in the government to attacking just poverty in general?
Sure. Well, with any problem, we need awareness. Okay, so we need to when we have poverty like we have right now, so we will tell them, well, stop doing this and this, and rather start doing something else. So for us to solve a problem, we have to have an alternative, right? So to stop poverty, whatever, we need to go into communities and tell them, this is what you can do for yourself, start vegetable gardens, and the government can provide solar panels to those poor areas, and be green in terms of sustaining yourself, and also stopping poverty, because the more you go in that way, you are sure that you're going to have a better life. I mean, you're becoming green, and you starting your own vegetable gardens, and you are all in this line where you can basically support yourself with renewable resources. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, my gas is gonna finish today or whatever. So you know that solar is always there, it's not gonna let me down or whatever. So basically that's what we need to invest more money into, because once you've installed that thing, then you don't have to worry about any other thing. Like in terms of electricity, you will worry about food, and then you have your vegetable garden. Unless you have like pigs lying around that will eat your garden, so you know that you're safe. So basically, we need to go back to our communities and teach them like the olden ways of surviving, and then we'll get it right.
It's interesting you say that, because the irony is that's how things used to be. People would look after themselves and sustain themselves now, but because of urbanization and
we're more dependent
land
on
reform and stuff, people moving to cities, now they're living in a
concrete
camp
jungle.
or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
are like relying on the city for, whereas previously they were quite healthy, sustainable,
Question.
at peace.
Oh goodness.
There
We're at
wasn't
35
drugs
minutes.
and
Yeah,
alcohol
yeah.
used so much.
Yeah.
And
So
now-
basically, that's what we need to look into, investing in something that will work out for us for the better. In terms of like, we're not going to need another vegetable garden. We once you have that, you sort it for a while. Yes, Izzy.
Do you know if South Africa is part of the Kyoto Protocol?
The what?
The Kyoto Protocol.
What is a Kyoto Protocol? Please elaborate. I'm not that.
It's like this. It's like this global. It's like this global. Oh God, what's the word? Like treaty to help the environment, basically, to solve global warming.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. It came to South Africa as like the COP17. Is that what you're talking about?
Kyoto Protocol.
Yeah,
They are assigned as followers of it. So I don't know how much involved they are, because that's pretty much it. It's not on the forefront of our sort of environmental issues, but like we very much involved with that other Swiss one with the ozone and the depletion, all that. Yeah, so they are assigned, but I don't know how much. We don't see much of that.
Yeah, we're not really told.
Yeah.
They just keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
Just like America. Right, anything else?
What do you
I
like?
think-
No, you keep going. You keep going.
Yeah, anything?
I was just wondering, do you think that corruption's playing a part in how these how there's no standards being set for these emissions? Like when we drove to Pretoria, we saw like huge clouds of brown smoke that would just cover up the mountains and all, and not much is being done. Do you think that's because of bribery and corruption?
Well,
Environmental law.
basically that's people avoiding the law. Okay,
No,
because
wait.
when you look at South Africa is quite like laid back in terms of environmental law. It's not that actively
People are
involved.
getting away with murder.
Yeah, people get away with murder unless your like your petrol tank spills. That's when everybody goes because it's gonna mess up the water table and whatnot and whatnot. But things that go up into the air, they don't really care about it. It's
gone.
yeah, it's just like poofs, and then next moment everybody has asthma, and then they're like, okay, now because we had the same problem where there's a mine just around here, and it's a vanadium mine, and the gas from that mine or the dust that mine produces, it causes asthma, and then it damages your lungs.
Which mine is it?
It's Vametco.
What did you call it? Vanadium?
It produces vanadium.
What is vanadium?
I don't know. I just know that there was
I've never heard
some
of it.
kind of rocky thing. So it's like the dust is very dark. It's like black dust, and then when you go to the villages around it, it looks like somebody just died. It looks sad.
That's bad.
Okay, and the trees don't grow that well. They're like only shrubs, and the ones that are big, they're the ones that have been there for a long time.
And what does the mining company say?
Nothing. Seriously, nothing. When you leave, when you stop working there, you just go home with cancer and you die. Okay, so basically they get away with murder, and it's quite sad. They don't have the right environmental laws in place.
I mean, with the environmental policies, you'd think they'd have to follow some protocol.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not enforced. That's the thing. We are very bad at enforcing. We've got a lot of laws and regulations, but we don't have the manpower or the know-how to enforce it. So even if, say, a poacher is caught or a company has been bought to book, gone to court, they'll get like, oh, you're a naughty boy, don't do this again, but you can go home and carry on. So there's no law enforcement. That's...
It was kind of like a thing recently done in London, where they had a South African team come down with a whole bunch of South Africans for Anglo Gold.
Oh, yeah?
And they're actually suing Anglo Gold because of the cancer and all the diseases that
are coming from the mining activities.
From the mines and everything. So it's ongoing, it's still ongoing, but I think they're going to get some sort of compensation for that. Yeah.
So yeah, we just need help in terms of understanding.
Yeah, I think it's in this country it's often not like what you know is who you know.
Yeah.
And what you get away with.